Hello there, Paul's Ego. I've got to tell you that I don't think that you were overreacting to that video, a letter from Mel, at all. This is a video that is clearly, purely designed to scare and terrify kids, and it's there to coerce them into submissive compliance so that they follow whatever kind of religious dogma they're told. And it's little more than just the bogeyman turned up to 11 on the amp. What's even worse is that, not content with scaring their own kids into compliance for their religion, these people seem to be grooming their kids so that they actually go out and recruit other people's kids as well, which is just vile. As far as the video itself is concerned, you said you watched it a couple of times, and I think that you've probably got a stronger stomach than I have. I gave up after about a third of the way in. I could see where it was going, and I was just appalled by the hammy theatrics and the overall sentiment. You made a comparison with the Halloween House of Horrors that some people have in these dungeons and things, where you see all sorts of grisly things going on and people exposing their kids to that. Now, I know that there are teenagers out there who watch 18-rated movies and they play 18-rated games, and my nephew is a good example. He watched all the Saw films by the time he was 18. But I think there's a key difference. The difference is this: they're going to be seeing these movies or playing these games or going to the House of Horrors or to some kind of dungeon. They know that it's not real. And that's why when we watch a film and see Jason Voorhees slicing into a teenager with a machete, we can find that entertaining. When we watch people jumping off the top of burning World Trade Center, that's not entertaining, because one is fiction and the other is real. One is entertaining and the other is just truly horrific. And people have this inbuilt bullshit detector. You mentioned it yourself previously, and can tell the difference between what's real and what isn't. And I think kids have it as well. It's just that religion somehow manages to short out really specific parts of the bullshit detector, so that people can be perfectly rational about everything apart from God. You can encounter the most logical and rational people who can see through all the con artists and all the flim-flam and all the smoke and mirrors about everything apart from religion. And when it comes to God, they just cannot seem to get their head around the fact that the Emperor is standing there and they're all together. They just don't see it. And that, I think, is where the real horror of this video lies. Not in its message of hell, but the fact that the people who are watching this video believe it is real. And for that reason alone, if ever you needed proof of how evil and manipulative religion can be, of how evil and manipulative religious people can be, you've got it here in this video. The message is clear. The implicit message is clear in this video, and that is that if you believe in God, the ends justify the means, even if that's torturing children, albeit mental torture. So I was disgusted and saddened and a whole word of other adjectives, and I know exactly what you mean about feeling sick afterwards, because it is a truly appalling piece of work. And the truly scary thing about it as well is that if you go to the site where this thing is hosted and you read some of the comments that have been posted up there by people who are obviously of the Christian mindset and agree with these people, they seem to think they're doing good work with putting this shit out there, with exposing kids to this kind of thing. I'm not a great fan of censorship for adults, but I do think that society as a whole has an obligation to protect children from physical and psychological damage. If adults want to watch this kind of thing, fine. I really don't think that it should be the kind of things that kids should be watching. And that these people can consider themselves responsible adults or even caring parents and subject their kids to this, which is, as you said, little more than abuse. It's mental cruelty. Well, that might not be against the law, but I think that it should be. And if you think about it, it actually would be if any kind of threats of revenge or torture were being made by a human being. to somebody else. So anybody who went up to a child and said to them, I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to hurt your family, and I'm going to hurt everybody that you love if you don't, and then they come up with a whole list of criteria the kid has to meet in order to prevent this from happening. Any legal system in the Western world will consider that to be menaces. And yet, the religious people seem to be free to get away with it with absolute impunity. They can make whatever kind of threats that they like with no legal recourse. And the reason's clear. They seem to think that scaring kids, that psychologically scarring kids, is fine because it's for their own good. Because, we're saving their souls. Well, personally, I don't think that it's acceptable. I think it's a disgrace. But then again, what the fuck do I know? I mean, all I am is an atheist, and as every good Christian knows, atheists have no idea of what constitutes morality.